The Tea Biz podcast delivers tea news that you need to know. A recap of the week's major headlines with commentary and cultural trends hosted by Dan Bolton. It is the voice of origin for tea professionals and enthusiasts worldwide.
The Tea Biz podcast and blog connect you directly to experts in the tea lands. Listen as their voices reveal the news, innovations, cultural insights, and consumer trends that most impact the industry. Paired with Tea Journey, a digital magazine for tea enthusiasts, the Tea Biz portal is a global resource for everyone who loves tea. Hello, everyone. Here are this week's headlines. A report from the India Tea Association describes acute financial crisis in the industry, with auction prices at lows and tea exports in decline. Tea award season is underway as judging concludes in major global competitions. Online venture Vahdam Tea opens its first tea shop. Plus, Lumbini Tea in southern Sri Lanka relies on the expertise of more than 1,700 small growers to produce 625 metric tons of Ceylon tea annually. Lumbini tea is crafted in 40 styles, from conventional black tea bags to innovative twists and specialty curled tea, with ongoing experiments in organic Kale production and rare white tea cultivars. Smallholders are key to winning international awards that attest to the company's ability to exceed expectations in overseas markets, says second-generation planter Managing Director Chaminda Jayawardana. He joins us today to discuss how smallholders became the foundation of Lumbini's success. More in a minute, but first, this important message.
What makes a perfect cup of Ceylon tea? The perfect cup is from the tea businesses that ensure the protection of all the children living within their tea estates. We salute Kailani Valley, Telawakili, Bogawantalawa, Harana, and Eliptia tea estates. Support Save the Children, Sri Lanka.
The cost of producing tea in India has outpaced the average auction price by threefold for the past decade, leading to an acute financial crisis, according to the Indian Tea Association. Tea prices increased at a compound annual growth rate of about 4% during the past 10 years, according to ITA's report Tea Scenario 2023. During that same period, the cost of vital inputs such as coal and gas, diesel fuel, and fertilizer grew by 9 to 15% per year. Rising labor costs, up 15% in the past year, and a surplus of bad tea compound the crisis. According to the report, tea prices declined, quote, alarmingly, end quote, in 2023, compared to last year. Auction prices for cut, tear, and curl and dust grades are down by 12.5 rupees per kilo in Assam. During the past 25 weeks, sales averages for teas produced in West Bengal are down 11.3 rupees per kilo on average. Orthodox grades sold for an average 95 rupees less than during the period April 3rd to October 1st last year. Domestic consumption, while rising, has not expanded fast enough to reduce a surplus largely created by smallholders who now produce more than half of India's tea. Economic doldrums globally kept exports to traditional trading partners flat or in decline after a promising 2022. The ITA status paper said that in 2022, tea exports showed signs of a revival, reaching 231 million kilos, but were down by 2.2% from January through July 2023. Tea production in North India accounted for about 1 million of the 2.6 million kilo decline, as exports fell to 69.5 million kilos during the year's first 7 months. Exports are a concern as unit prices averaged 265 rupees per kilo in the first 7 months of calendar 2023, compared to 271 rupees per kilo during the first 7 months of 2022. Future shipments to Iran are still in doubt. Demand there is strong, typically accounting for about 20% of India's total exports, but payment issues associated with sanctions and turmoil caused by the Russian invasion of Ukraine are creating uncertainties. ITA also wants the government to consider raising the cap on refunds for taxes, duties, and levies incurred by exporters who sell high-quality CTC, Orthodox, and Darjeeling teas. It's awards season, with judging complete for the Leafies and the 6th International AVPA Teas of the World contest. The 12th Annual North American Tea Conference winners were announced last week. Rajiv Lakan, founder of Doki Tea in Bihar, India, was excited to learn the green and Doki black teas he submitted this year were recognized by both AVPA and the Leafies. He's eagerly preparing to attend award presentations online and in person. Lakan is among many smallholders demonstrating that quality tea can be grown in non-traditional regions. His farm is in Bihar, in the foothills below Darjeeling, and the more established plantations in Nepal. His is the only commercial garden in Bihar. Quote, Doki is a fusion of the strength of tea from the plains and the sweetness of the mountains, thus the name fusion, he says. The tea's unique character presents as maple, caramel, honey, or chocolate. 320 teas were entered in this year's competition, says Joe Selman-Smith, director of the Leafies. Notices were sent this week to winners in 47 categories, including newly created recognitions for retailers. She said judging occurred at Fordham & Mason's Food and Drink Studio, Victoria Ardnino Showroom, and the San Remo Showroom. Every tea was blind tasted by 3 judges, with top-scoring teas in some categories retasted to decide the winning tea, she explained. There were 12 judges this year, quote, comprising 7 nationalities and specialty expertise that covered every tea-producing region in the world, end quote, she said. A professional brew team makes every tea according to the entrance instructions. Judges score every tea on a scale of 0 to 100, assessing the dry leaf, wet leaf, liquor, aroma, brightness, flavor, and aftertaste. The Leafies will be presented at Asia House in London on Thursday, October 26th. Tickets are available on the UK Tea Academy website. That's ukteaacademy.co.uk. Admission to the ceremonies and tea tasting is £120 British. Senior Leap with AVPA praised the, quote, investment of time and talent and skills, end quote, by jurists in this year's competition. Participating in the AVPA jury is not only a recognition and the opportunity to exercise your professional talents, it is also an opportunity for fruitful professional exchanges and updating your skills tasting exceptional products, she said. Evaluating entries suggests trends and reveals innovations in producing countries, and often is a place to source exceptional products. The tea and infusion contest winners, named by AVPA, will be honored online on November 18th. Visit the APA website or TBiz for details. The North American Tea Conference convened in Miami on October 4th. Organizers host the NATC Gold Medal Tea Competition and Sustainability Awards. Goodrig Group won the overall competition with a whole-leaf Darjeeling Moonlight Tea this year. Australian native products ranked first in the herbals category with its East Coast Australia organic cut. A complete list of winners can be downloaded from the TeaBiz website. Winners in the Sustainability Awards competition were Talawakali Tea Estate in Sri Lanka for its renewable energy revolution, and Yogi Tea for its crop diversification and regenerative agricultural project in Rwanda. It's too soon to label a trend, but the opening of a 500-square-foot tea room by Vahdam Tea in the Khan Market in Delhi suggests online ventures may need to invest in real estate to fully benefit from multi-channel marketing. Bala Sarda, founder and CEO, said the shop, which opened this week, sells a wide range of tea, teaware, drinkware, gift sets, and assortments. Sarda told ET Hospitality World that tea is more than a beverage. It's an experience that engages all the senses. Quote, purchasing tea is so personal that its aroma, look, and feel provide customers with a personalized experience. Fulfilling this gap and providing an elevated tea buying experience led to the idea of an experience store, end quote, he said. The brand currently generates 95% of its revenue in the global market. The remaining 5% is from India. Sarda explained that ratio will change as the hotel, resort, and catering segment expands in India during the next 2 to 3 years. The tea room is not a standalone venture, he said. It's a vital component of our broader strategy, part of an ambitious goal to generate 500 million crore, about 60 million annually in U.S. dollars. The company will reach out to hotels and catering companies to make Vahdam Tea, quote, the go-to brand for every cup of tea in the HoReCa space, further solidifying our presence in the F&B industry, end quote. Business Insight. Vahdam teas and spices are sold in more than 130 countries and are available on more than 100 online marketplaces, with e-commerce stores globally on the Shopify enterprise platform. The multi-channel direct-to-customer brand is also available in 7,000 retail outlets across the U.S., Canada, the UK, and Europe. Fulfillment is outsourced to MCF. The brand sources directly from 150 farmers, adding value locally, and then shipping to distribution partners in Europe and North America. India's tea auction conversion back to traditional English rules is complete. Sale 41 resumes on October 17th. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hello, I'm Vahdam, a passionate tea drinker and the inventor of the ultimate tea machine, the Brewmaker One. Preparation is key to making fine tea. Sequential steepings deliver the best taste possible and unlock the true value of whole leaf teas and botanicals. Brew automates that process without using any pots or capsules. This simple-to-operate, smartphone-controlled device stores steeping profiles to consistently make great tea at the push of a button. Brew also reduces time, waste, and energy. That's because I engineered the brew to remember control settings for temperature, brewing time, and quantity. Using my patented process lets you stack steep simply and conveniently.
Lumbini Tea Valley in southern Sri Lanka relies on the expertise of more than 1,700 small growers to produce 625 metric tons of Ceylon tea annually. Lumbini tea is crafted in 40 styles, from conventional black tea bags to innovative twists and specialty curled teas, with ongoing experiments in organic Kale cultivation and a rare white tea cultivar. Smallholders are key to winning international awards that attest to the company's ability to exceed expectations in overseas markets, says second-generation planter and Managing Director Chaminda Jayawardana. He joins us today to discuss how smallholders became the foundation of Lumbini's success. "48 years ago, Jayapala Jayawardana planted his first section of tea in the lowlands along the south coast of Sri Lanka, near Kale. The pristine 220-acre Lumbini Tea Valley garden that he founded was surrounded by 18,000 acres of virgin Sinharja rainforest, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The factory he built in 1984 was remote and self-reliant, soon becoming an essential means of support for the many smallholders in the surrounding area. 24 years ago, his son, Chaminda, was named managing director after several years as assistant superintendent at Kahawara Plantations. In 2000, he received a diploma in plantation management from the National Institute of Plantation Management in Sri Lanka. Lumbini received the Presidential Award as the best small-scale factory in the nation in 2017, one of many dozens of awards for excellence, including this year's well-deserved recognition by the Sri Lanka Tea Exporters Association as the Rana tea growing region's outstanding tea producer for 2023. Thank you, Chaminda, for joining us this week.
First of all, Dan, thank you so much for getting me to this podcast. I'm really happy to give you my comments.
Recognition by your peers is certainly warranted. Lumbini's success can be measured in direct sales, top auction prices, and the volume of specialty teas it produces. But the techniques you have developed to motivate and reward smallholders to consistently achieve high-quality tea are of great interest to the tea industry, especially one in which smallholders produce more than half of the world's tea. Will you tell our listeners about the secret to Lumbini's smallholder success?
It's mainly the bond we have with the small farmers, because actually it comes from the time my father had started the tea factory. And still we have the farmers from my father's era as well with us, working with us. So they have a great loyalty with our brand and with us. So that's a huge bond we have with them. So coming on the way from the day we started the factory, we have several things what we do for the benefits of our small farmers. Because not only we educate them, but we always have a great relationship with them. That's what keep us going with the small farmers. So we have several programs, like we have Small Farmer Society. So we get them to work with us, every time when they have a problem, we have a solution for them. And when we have a problem, they have a solution for us. So we work with each other every time, because we meet once a month, sometimes once in 2 months. So many meetings are there, and a lot of times we have education sessions. We have a extension team which runs with them. So we go to our small farmers and advise them and give them how to practice the good agricultural practices. So many things we are running with them. So this is one reason which I actually because of them only then we are surviving like this in these markets, because Lumbini is manufacturing good quality tea. So the secret for manufacturing good quality tea is, one is the small farmers and one is the team of Lumbini. So those two are the main things which we are strong, and we are doing our good quality tea manufacturing.
In Sri Lanka, the proceeds from tea sold at auction are apportioned to the factory and the raw leaf suppliers. Will you describe how that system results in higher farm gate prices for growers?
In Sri Lanka, there's a regulation. We have to give 68% of the prices, portion of the prices to the small farmer. So that 68% goes straight to that farmer. And apart from that, what we had done in Lumbini is directly exporting their specialty teas. So what we do is we put that specialty tea portion also into our prices and give them higher incentive. So the advantage we have is we can pay a higher price for the small farmer than any other one in Sri Lanka, because we sell our specialty products directly to the consumer.
That's exactly the mechanism for rewarding time and energy I wanted to touch on. For example, you are currently supporting a group of organic smallholders. In the factory, I met workers committed to doing intricate and unconventional hand-twist teas. When I visit farms, I expect the factory to be clean and safe, and that's certainly the case here. But Lumbini encourages people to experiment with tea to coax out the full complexity of the terroir to add value. So will you talk briefly about your commitment to organics and rewarding innovation, and how smallholders add value at origin?
Altogether, then we have about 1,700 farmers work with us, and out of that we have 60 organic farmers who are really dedicated to this organic job and working with us. So what we do is we pay a higher premium for organic farmers as well. So apart, like as I explained to you earlier, we pay a premium price for the normal farmer as well, selling the specialty teas, as well as the organic farmers. We pay a separate price schedule and pay a very high price for them, because you know that organic farming is not easy then in all around the world, because they can't put fertilizer as nothing they can use to stimulate the bush. So they have to use good agriculture practices only. So to do that, it's a huge effort they have to put. So to appreciate it, what we had done was we are paying a higher premium. So as you explained, we have the premium grades, handmade teas, specialty teas. So those kind of teas attract good prices because we are selling those direct to the consumer. So because of that, we can share a huge portion of those prices with our small farmers as well as organic farmers. And the other thing is, when you take our team, we, as you explained, we have the innovation part as well. So the person who innovates the tea gets a 5% of that tea from what we sell. So that kind of incentive systems are also in place with Lumbini. So all these are coming together and makes a great model then.
Quality has a cost, but now that you are exporting Ceylon tea to 25 countries and have found customers willing to pay the price for quality tea, you can share a greater portion of the sale price with organic smallholders, which is ultimately a long-term sustainable solution, right?
Exactly that, because it's all about the relationships as well as the appreciation of the consumer. So all these things come together and makes a nice model to this practice, Dan.
Sri Lanka had a couple of bad years. The country's president fled, there were protests, high unemployment, no power, no fertilizer, no fuel, long lines for food, high inflation. Everything seemed to be a disaster. But I was in weekly contact with Sri Lanka, and despite setbacks, I witnessed the power of camaraderie, a binding together, the strength of many arms, plantations caring for workers during the pandemic, employing young people who lost their jobs in the city and came back to live with their parents, found work in the gardens. Is Sri Lanka recovering? Is the future for Sri Lanka bright as far as the tea industry?
It's like this, Dan. Sri Lankans are always a resilient nation, We got lots of problems from, I think, nearly 30, 40 years now. But we came through all those things. Same as tea industry, like tea industry has lots and lots of problems. You may know some of them. But still, we are surviving among these problems. So last 2 years were very bad for us, actually telling. As you said, we had fuel problems, power problems. So a lot of things were going on in the country. But as an industry, tea, we didn't have any, off days of work because we didn't stop any work. Even though we got these problems, however, we fought with these problems and we helped each other and we came through all these problems. And now actually the country is a lot recovered. There are some problems going on, but when you compare with the last year, I think it's 50-60% better than last year. So it's going on. I think the tourism is improving and the tea prices somewhat has improved now. So because of that, I think in the future it will become a good place, Dan, for the foreigners as well as the tea. So when you take tea, of course, I think Sri Lanka should think about quality tea manufacturing because that is the way forward. You know that Sri Lanka has a very different quality character in their tea. So to do that, you have to get the good raw material in. Otherwise, getting bad raw material will not make any good quality teas. So we will have to concentrate on good quality leaf. As you know now, you are talking with me because we are getting good quality leaf from our farmers. So I think whole Sri Lanka will have to adhere to these instructions, and at least we have to go through 60% good leaf, 60% two leaf and the bud leaf theory, and manufacture wise also we have to improve our techniques and then give a good quality tea to the consumer. So that from that way we can come out from these problems.
Intrigued by what you heard in today's podcast? Would you like to learn more from our global network of tea biz journalists and tea experts? Remember to visit the Tea Biz website for more comprehensive coverage. That's www.t-biz.com. Thanks for listening. Farewell till next week.
Produced by Adavita Studios. Connect your voice to the world.
Hey there! Did you know Baker's always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower than low prices? And when you download the Baker's app, you'll enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. And don't forget fuel points to help you save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. Want to save even more? With a Boost membership, you'll get double fuel points and free delivery. So shop and save big at Baker's today. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply. See site for details.